November 4th, 1914. The British ship Endurance pushes through stormy seas toward the most dangerous, mysterious continent on Earth, Antarctica. On board are 28 men, led by explorer Sir Ernest Shackleton. His goal? Something no one in history has done before: walk across the entire Antarctic continent, on foot, from one side to the other. No smartphones, no GPS, no modern gear, temperatures near 50 degrees Celsius, blizzards, endless ice. The plan is to sail into the Weddell Sea, land on the coast at Vassal Bay, march to the South Pole, cross it, and continue to the Ross Sea, about 2,900 kilometers in roughly 120 days, if all goes well. They have no idea how badly this plan will fail, or what they will have to endure to survive. November 5th, 1914. Endurance reaches a whaling station on South Georgia Island, the last human settlement on their route. South Georgia lies near the tip of South America. Below it stretches the Antarctic Peninsula and the Weddell Sea, a basin boxed in by land on three sides. Ice collects there and doesn't break up easily, creating a dense, permanent pack. Locals warn Shackleton, postpone the mission. The Weddell is treacherous this year. He refuses. We go on. December 5th, 1914. They press forward, and exactly what people feared happens. The Weddell's ice is far thicker and heavier than expected. Shackleton keeps trying to force a path. January 18th, 1915. After skirting the ice edge for weeks, Endurance is locked solid in the pack. A few days later, crew spot a 15-foot crack in the floe just 50 yards away, their last chance to escape. Engines at full power for 3 hours. The ship doesn't move an inch. Men jump out with axes and chisels to cut a channel. No use. The floe carrying the trapped ship begins to drift away from land. The landing point, Vassal Bay, slides out of reach, now 60 miles away, with open water between the floe and shore, so they can't walk it. The ship can't sail. Weeks turn to months. Antarctic winter approaches. 24 hours of darkness for weeks on end. Shackleton orders, "We winter aboard." Winter means colder air, snow, blizzards, and rising pressure on the hull. On board is photographer Frank Hurley, who captures eerie images of ice clamping the ship. September 30th, 1915. Visible cracks along the sides. They still hope. October 24th, 1915, 6:45 p.m. A violent squeeze. The ice splits, a chunk slams the hull, and the stern post breaks. Water pours in. Pumps run 3 days straight, but the inflow is faster. It's 8.5 degrees. Men are calm, focused, cutting at the pressure ridges with axes, still not enough. At last, Shackleton gives the order: abandon ship. October 27th, 1915. A thunderous crack. The stern heaves 20 feet upward, rudder torn off, timbers splinter, and the forward hold floods. The crew are off the ship. Soon the water freezes and the bow starts sinking into the ice. With Endurance dying, the dream of crossing Antarctica dies with it. Now a darker question. Can we even get home alive? No radio. No phone. No way to contact anyone. They're on a drifting ice floe in the Antarctic Ocean. They pitch camp on a hummock of the floe. Inventory: 3 small boats, sledges, a few personal items, and about 1 month of rations. Sleeping space is short. Many men sleep on the ice, pressed together against the cold. Finding them by chance is almost impossible. Ships don't pass here. The outside world doesn't know if they are alive. Shackleton has only one tool left: judgment and leadership. Dragging the boats and supplies over the ice is brutal. Summer warmth softens the surface. After 3 hours of hauling, they've moved 1 mile. Shackleton decides to wait and drift until the floe carries them nearer to land. They call it Ocean Camp. November 21st, 1915. Pressure crushes Endurance's stern. The ship rears and then slides beneath the ice. The men watch their last link to the world disappear. Morale takes a hit, but they must keep moving. December 23rd, 1915. The floe begins to drift east, away from land. Shackleton orders, "Leave Ocean Camp and try marching again." A few kilometers later, thin ice and open leads block them. They camp once more on a new floe. Rations are cut to a biscuit a day, some diluted milk, cocoa, and a little high-fat meat paste. They hunt seals and penguins when possible. Shackleton lies upward about food quantities to keep spirits up. He knows survival may take a long time, and mental strength is the real ration. Puppies are put down for food. Hurley is allowed to keep only 150 of his $400 glass negatives. Men are limited to 2 pounds of personal items. Those images will become the historic record of the ordeal. March 23, 1916. Through fog, they sight Joinville Island. Bad news. Their flow has drifted so far northwest that Paulet Island, once their goal, is now behind them and blocked by ice. Ahead lie only a few specks, Clarence Island and Elephant Island, then the empty ocean and the Drake Passage, the most violent waterway on Earth, with 40-foot waves and a death toll of ships and sailors. Food is short. They melt ice by holding tins to their bodies. A full can yields only a spoonful at a time. One crewman, Perce Blackborough, had even stowed away back in 1914 after being rejected. Shackleton had joked grimly that in a worst-case shortage, he'd be eaten first. Thankfully, it never came to that. They kill a leopard seal, securing 1,000 pounds of meat. Some dogs are also killed for food. For a time, hunger eases. April 7, 1916. They sight Clarence Island 83 kilometers away. Hope rises. Then the wind swings east. Their flow shrinks, cracking into smaller rafts. One man falls in. The flow splits in two. Shackleton stranded on one piece, the others drifting off in the dark. He is rescued by boat after tense minutes. A crewman, Ernest Holness, is soaked and near hypothermia. With no fire, Shackleton orders him to walk all night until his clothes dry on his body. It works. Targets change 4 times as wind and currents shift. Clarence, King George, Hope. Finally, Elephant Island, the last land before the Drake Passage, about 160 kilometers away to the northwest. Temperatures creep up to 8 degrees. Less ice means less fresh water. Lips crack, throats so dry that they swallow food using raw seal blood to help it go down. When Elephant Island is about 50 kilometers away, Shackleton orders the 3 boats into the water for the final push. April 15, 1916. After 497 days without touching ground, all 3 boats reach Elephant Island. Solid land under their feet at last. Relief explodes, then reality returns. The island is uninhabited, remote, with no supplies and no traffic. Shackleton considers 3 options on the chart. 1. Cape Horn, 800 kilometers no. 2. Falkland Islands, 880 kilometers ne. 3. South Georgia Island, 1,300 kilometers ne. The first 2 mean fighting the worst of the Drake Passage. Shackleton chooses South Georgia. Winds and currents might favor them. Most men are too weak to travel. Shackleton selects 5 to go with him in the 22-foot James Caird. The rest will camp under 2 upturned boats on Elephant Island. April 24, 1916. The James Caird launches into the world's roughest seas. They row and sail in 4-hour shifts, soaked and vomiting, barely able to eat. The sun appears for only a few hours, just enough to take sextant sights and keep a dead-reckoned course. Twice, waves nearly swamp the boat. Still, they push on. After 2 weeks, South Georgia comes into range. Then a storm hammers them again. They drop oars, ride it out, and when the sky opens a little, land is 1 mile away. They throw every last ounce into the oars. May 10, 1916. They land on South Georgia, 522 days after leaving, but they've landed on the wrong side of the island. The whaling stations are on the opposite coast. 2 choices. Relaunch the shattered boat for 130 miles along deadly cliffs, or walk across the island, something no one has ever done. The boat is finished. Walking is the only option. They rest 9 days in a cave, eating plentiful albatross, seals, and penguins. May 19, 1916, 3 o'clock a.m. Shackleton, Frank Worsley, and Tom Crean begin the overland trek. No tent, no sleeping bags. Snow to the knees. Ridges so steep they can't see what's beyond. Again and again they climb a peak only to find a cliff or glacier drop and must turn back. Finally roped together, they cut steps down a perilous slope. Below, the Stromness whaling station appears. After 36 hours of nonstop climbing, May 20th, 1916, the 3 men walk into Stromness, first humans ever to cross South Georgia's mountains. They are unrecognizable. Huge beards, blackened faces, torn clothes. The station manager can hardly believe it. These are the men thought lost 2 years ago. They wash, shave, eat, and the next day Worsley takes a boat to bring back the other 2 men left on South Georgia's far side. Shackleton's mind is already on the 22 men on Elephant Island. If you're hooked, tap subscribe so you never miss our next deep dive. 3 failed rescues. And the 4th that worked, he tries to reach Elephant Island with a ship, trapped by ice. Tries again, turns back. A 3rd time, blocked. 3 failures in 3 months. He pleads for an ice-capable vessel. Britain promises discovery, but it will take weeks. Shackleton can't wait. No idea how long his men can hold out. Chile provides a small ship, the Yelcho. August 25, 1916. Shackleton sails again. August 30, 1916. The Yelcho reaches Elephant Island. What he sees stuns him. The 22 men, led by Frank Wild, whom Shackleton had left in command, are all alive. They had flipped 2 boats to make a hut, hunted penguins and seals, and every morning Wild told them, "Roll up your kit. The boss may come today." For 128 days they waited. One man, Blackborough, lost toes to gangrene and needed amputation, but he lived. After nearly 2 years of ice, sea, and mountains, Shackleton brings every one of his men home. He left with 27 companions and returned with 27, a miracle of leadership, judgment, and teamwork. The ship found again in 2022, a search team located Endurance in the Weddell Sea at a depth of about 10,000 feet, astonishingly well preserved in the cold, low-life waters. The photos are breathtaking. The ship looks almost like it did the day the ice claimed her. If you ever visit South Georgia, you can find Shackleton's grave there. He set out to be the first to cross Antarctica on foot. He failed at that, but achieved something greater. He saved every life under his command. Join the journey, subscribe, hit the bell, and tell us in the comments what we should uncover next.